Whatever.
Or daddy. Oh, daddy.
Daddy.
We are back with Caitlin, and Caitlin just started up a YouTube channel, just helped us set it up. The link is in the description. Subscribe to Caitlin's channel. The question today is being transgender a choice? Caitlin.
Is transgender a choice? Well, no.
There we go.
There is no choice. There's no control over it. It was spontaneous, happened on its own. It just was. It just is. It's the fulfillment and expression of a manifestation. Do you want something more specific? There are a lot of theories, and they're as good as the next theory. But it has been shown that in male to female transgender, there are several extra base pairs within one gene, and it's in the androgen receptor genes. I can give you the number, it's not important. And it basically, quickly here, just basically, testosterone was produced normally, but it wasn't expressed because the androgen receptor was a genetic variation with extra base pairs, meaning it did not absorb the testosterone and cause the effect. So the normal the normal masculinization of the female fetus never occurred. There was a normal male body, but the mind and the gender identity remained female. Now that's basic biology. If you want to know a cause and effect relationship, that's the best there is. If that's important, that's important.
That's a pretty good biological answer. That's pretty
well, you can...
androgen receptors, not many people bring that up.
No, they don't. You can do karyotyping, and for a few $1,000s, that's genetic testing. And you can actually see the number of the gene, and you can see the extra base pairs, and go from there. So it's a matter of how much information you want. You can pay a little money, and you can have testing done in this wonderful day and age that we live. So that is something that nobody has control over. What you have control over is what you do with it. It's going to express, and let me add, do I have a minute to say something else?
We'll make a minute.
Well, here's a very big issue. When you have the androgen receptor expressing testosterone in a way that you still have a female gender identity, but you have a male body. The bottom line on that is, within every cell, you have the full 46 chromosomes. Okay, that's a fact. Within each cell, you also have the alleles of the female phenotype and the male phenotype within each cell. Now that's a genetic variation. And what that means is that there was within every cell, I'll try to put words to this, it's all wordless.
Keep talking, it's going to change arms.
Yeah, it's all wordless. It's all wordless and unadorned, but it's like on the level of interceptive signals within each cell, intercellular and intracellular, between the cells and the brainstem. It doesn't ever reach the frontal cortex. So if you want fancy dandy scientific evidence and theories and, you know, the best there is today, this antagonism within each cell is what causes this gender dysphoria that many people can't live through and survive. It's a very real issue. And the only way to change that, I'm getting fancy on you now, Harley.
You can get as fancy as you want.
The only way to change that is through absolute epigenetic, right? Epigenetic change, where the genes and the alleles are read and not read in a new manifestation where that internal gender dysphoria is calmed down. And it may take a complete transition physically. This is not a mental disorder, my friends. Let me please be clear on that. It's often thought to be. It's a physical problem. It requires a physical change to bring the body into alignment with the mind. It has been tried for decades to change the mind into alignment with the body, and it has never succeeded. So that's the long and the short. It's a biological genetic variation causing a sexual, pardon me, a social deviation.
Social deviation.
Social deviation, yes. It's a normal deviation in biology. Look at all the countries where it's celebrated, and transgender are turned into the shamans and the wise ones that are looked to for guidance. Not so much in the Western world. So it's a social deviation, but that's an arbitrary positionality. That isn't a real, you know, that's an artificial, fabricated, conceptualized, what do you call that?
Concept?
It's strictly a concept. Interpretation is what I was trying to say. So I don't want to say anything more about it. We could go on and on, but that's basically it. And if there are questions about that, there's more to follow up. I'm glad to discuss it at length.
Let us know down below. Sometimes people, I'll chime in as well, sometimes people take me out of context and call me a homophobe or whatever. And that's just haters wanting to take me out of context. It happens all the time on the internet. People get a bit of a video and they'll just get a sound bite and just rerun that, and then you don't see the full story, don't hear my full opinion, and then people take me out of context. That's all good. But my bottom line is I definitely subscribe to choice theory. So whatever you do in life, whatever you want to be, identify as or whatever, enjoy your choices, enjoy your life.
This is right. All right. Now, you know, there are hundreds of people that are just out and out killed for being, you know, labeled whatever this is. And I want to say something right here real quick that's so basic to the way I think and what I know, that no matter what you want to change, no matter what is the rub, the problem, whether it's the subject we're talking about, or whether it's weight, or whether it's not able to exercise, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, if you're trying to fix it, if you're trying to handle it, if you're trying to change it, if you're trying to control it, that's all resistance. None of it works in the long term. No one ever permanently changes anything without changing
the identity,
the context in which you look at it, with a new meaning, a new significance, you know, a new value, a new goal, a new motivation, and the power to change it. You know, this is deep stuff, and it's the only way to permanently change. Well, I want to tell you, here's the bottom line. I used to be transgendered. I'm no more transgendered. I'm a new person. Epigenetically changed. And the bottom line is, absolute reality has been changed. And I am today absolute I, Caitlin. And we talk about transgender, we talk about my sexuality. That's, by the way, Harley, very interesting, because you don't ask any of your other interviewees about their sex life.
I don't. Why is that?
Well, you know, because that's not a issue. It's not a big thing. But everyone wants to ask a transgendered person about their sex life. It's fine. It's dandy.
I guess because you basically show society that you're open to communicating. You don't really hide anything.
You know this, and the people that have watched me in the previous video, I have not one secret. So I'm glad to talk about it. But it is an interesting point that a transgender person gets asked about their sexuality. And here's another point of interest to all your viewers. Transgender has not one thing to do with sex. It's a gender issue. Sexual preference isn't even in the box. A transgendered person can be gay, straight, or there's a middle term I'm trying to think of right now. Let's see, what is it called?
Bi?
No, well, you could be bi too. You can be anything you want, and it just doesn't, that's a separate issue caused by different factors. But the truth is, a transgendered person, and you ask about their sex, well, I happen to be, as I said, heterosexual, male and female. That's what I enjoy, and that is where the happiness is.
So if someone was, just to cut you off, we'll try and keep it under 10 minutes. We'll just do more videos. We'll do more videos.
We will do them.
But if I can ask a question, if someone is at home and they haven't had surgery, they're thinking about getting it, would you say choose to do that?
Well, you know, Harley,
would your choices, they're your choices to get surgery, aren't they? It's your choice?
Oh, they are choices whether you can afford it, whether you want it. You know, there's a lot of people that, you know, are performers, and they're transvestites, and they're cross-dressers, and they're basically heterosexual men that want to dress up like a woman. They would never think of having their winky taken off.
So basically what I'm trying to say is, whatever you choose in life, if you get surgery or whatever you do in life, just be proud of that, don't be ashamed of that, and just fucking do it.
Right. I will say that I could not have gotten where I'm at without having had gone through the transition, which, you know, it's a hard call. I mean, the world... But
you made choices to get where you are today, didn't you?
I did, and I was willing to let go of everything. Yeah. I knew it would cost me everything. It cost me 30-year marriage. It cost me dollars. It cost me employment opportunity. It cost me... you know, there's no limit to what it'll cost, and you have to be willing to...
Sacrifice.
Let go.
Let go.
Because you have a new meaning, you see, you have a new motivation. Did you get that? It's a new context. You're thinking differently. What you owned has no bearing on it. What's important is that your body and your mind become in sync. So you have homeostasis like every normal person takes for granted. And a transgendered person not one day can take for granted.
You're going to be an authority on this topic. I can just see how you want to keep talking and talking and talking.
Okay, but I give it up right now. I let it go because it can go on for a long time. I do have a lot to share.
Well, I was about to fall off. I've got a new Samsung S7 Edge. Thanks to Samsung Thailand for that. But if you wanted to see more videos, give the video a thumbs up and ask some questions down below. And Caitlin's actually living in the same place I'm living in, so let's bang out more vids.
We will do it.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Harvey.
Peace.
Harley.
Or just call me Dan or a banana boy.
Banana man, whatever.
Or Daddy. Call me Daddy.
Daddy. Okay, Daddy.